Yeah, I want to show against Cloud9 and maybe in the finals, if we make it there, that I still have it in me to be the best, and I still am one of the greatest players in my role, and maybe in the West, whatever. I don't care about the title necessarily, but I just want to show people that I still have it and that I'm still really good, and that both Mithy and I are still a good duo. So I want to prove it to everyone.
In Game 3, I think he definitely did a huge performance on
Still
Sven.
got it.
He definitely has still got it.
Checked.
Absolutely beautiful. Welcome to Game 4. TSM with side selection picked red side, and Cloud9 have switched around their roster. Goldenglue and Svenskeren are in.
It's a bold move, but you like I said on the desk, if you're gonna run this 7-man roster, you're already down 2 games. It's the time you have to do it. But I just think there's an incredible amount of pressure on Goldenglue in particular.
Yeah.
First LCS playoff game, elimination match against Bjergsen and TSM, the team with that you have looked up to very likely as a mid laner, the team that has had the most success in North America. I think that is an incredibly tall task for this young player.
At least for his sake, even Bjergsen himself has been outspoken about how good Goldenglue is in practice and in their 1v1s. He said it was one of his favorite mid laners to actually practice against because Goldenglue can push him so far.
Yeah.
So I have to see, though, the one thing with Goldenglue has always been, translation from scrims to stage or from academy to stage. And this year, why people have more confidence in Goldenglue is because he did make that transition with Svenskeren. Obviously, they had that extremely good game versus Team Liquid where they basically won it themselves.
Yeah, and I would agree completely. Even in, I think, all of his losses, individually, he looked good on stage for Cloud9 this split, and that was the most telling thing for me. It wasn't just, oh, he had this one good game and then it got slammed. He was doing well on stage, and maybe they weren't getting the results, but a lot of pressure on these guys to step up, and we'll have to have a close eye on pick and ban and see what adjustments this allows them to make, because it's not necessarily just about the duo. It could be...
Oh, there you go. He's got to plug in the monitor.
Adjusting the cord.
That's Jensen's problem.
Oh,
No wonder. Yeah, I wasn't even looking.
Toxic.
How good is Jensen? He plays out a monitor, and it looked that close.
Yeah,
what an incredible player.
That's actually pretty insane.
But Goldenglue, with his technical savvy, plugs it in and says, that's okay, I will play without the training weights on.
Jokes aside, though, I definitely agree with Zeyzal there.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be exciting. This is going to be the match to dictate really what's going to happen here at TSM on match point. They have made 10 finals. They have 6 titles. It's ridiculous how successful they have been. Cloud9 haven't won a championship in over 4 years. They've made it to finals. They've lost to TSM in 5 straight best of 5s. Like, it has been tough for C9 to get over that hurdle. And if Goldenglue and Svenskeren, the former TSM jungler, are the ones to do it, that is a story.
It really is, and I've got to say, just personally, I want to see Licorice getting to play something other than Ornn.
Yeah.
Someday or him, whoever you think was the best, these guys were clearly the 2 best performing top laners in the league during the regular season. Licorice has shown he can play carries incredibly well, and to see Ornn, the whole time through, I think, would be disappointing to see who I believe, was their best player or one of their best players at the very least this split, relegated to tank duty for the entire series.
Yeah, we'll see. Cloud9 said they have many styles that they can play as the new players on stage are setting up. We'll be in Champ Select in just a couple of minutes. And a lot of those play styles, though, that C9 was bringing out were very aggressive ones, right? They were bringing out champions that most teams didn't play, things like the Leona, things like the Quinn over in the bottom lane. Like, these are atypical, but it was Cloud9 style. And they said, well, but in these comps, Ornn fits. And if it worked, they'd be geniuses. Wow, look at this guy who can bring out Ornn 3 times, used to be carrying, and look, he's finding the engages. Of course, in this case, it did not, but to that point, I agree with you. I do want to see something new.
Well, and my point is not that it's a bad pick. It's just that now that it has not worked, let's see something different.
Sure.
And I did think that the Ornn was, very useful for them, right? They got a lot of good engages off of that. This time around, though, we'll have to see, because TSM looking to finish it as quickly as possible. As you said, Freak, they want to return to their dominance of the North American LCS. They've been deposed for quite a while here, and this is supposed to be the year of their return. This would be, kind of the moment of truth for them. Can they make it to the finals and await their next opponent from Team Liquid and 100 Thieves?
It is kind of crazy to think, though, like, these 2 teams have had very different splits. C9 obviously did start off very rough, but most people have them talking to pros, as the best team in the league. And most players will tell you that they are clearly the best team in the league. But yet, here is TSM coming off what looked like a fairly shaky quarterfinals. Most people are predicting heavily in C9's favor, and it is TSM once again, one game away from the finals.
Yep.
You know, looking to, as Sven put it, make everyone forget about spring, right? You get to that finals, you get back to that TSM form. Well, that's just a blip on the radar then. That's just a mistake in the past.
Yeah, TSM definitely on the upswing here. A single game away from a trip back to the finals. For now, we do have a delay on stage, so we're going to toss it down to the State Farm analyst desk to set up this game a bit more.
Thank you very much, Freak. With two players swapping onto the stage, need a little bit of extra time to make sure the tech is all working properly for these guys. But if anything, this is adding to the pressure that's building for these two players who are about to need to put back-to-back wins together to take down TSM.
Yeah, and watching Goldenglue's body language when he's on stage with Svenskeren, they actually came in looking pretty relaxed. I mean, we know Goldenglue was actually on stage yesterday winning the Academy Championship, but just to put in context how important this game is, Goldenglue, his first game was in 2014. He subbed in for Scar on Team Dignitas. There's been 5 LCS seasons. This is his 5th year as a pro, and this is the most important game of his life. Up against Bjergsen, down 2-1 in the semifinals. It's just insane.
And that's the scary part, is that, like, the thing that people always said about Goldenglue that held him back was just his ability to translate his success in scrims to stage, and it always was some kind of nerves or mental block that people were concerned about for him. And then this was the season, the split is when he finally started breaking through, and you saw him have good performances in the LCS finally. And then he smashed Academy Finals last night, where he was actually the MVP of the series. And that's all great, but like you said, that pressure at the Academy Finals, I think they cared to win. His mom was there to support him, everything. But I don't think it compares at all to this game, because this has so much riding on not just the rivalry, but like Jad was saying, the personal success.
The good thing for him, I guess, is that no one's really expecting, you know, some crazy turnaround. You know, Goldenglue like coming out and just smurfing on Bjergsen and turning the series around. So he is kind of in like a more low-pressure environment than he was, than it would be if he's like the starter, right? And he's the one who's supposed to like carry the series. So it would be like a fantasy storyline for him with these 3, you know, or like 2 young players to be able to turn this around.
That's interesting. You think he would be under more pressure if he was the starter in the best of 5 than if they lose this game, they are out of contention for finals?
Yeah, because it already showed that, you know, Jensen and Blabber, I guess, as well, they couldn't get the job done. So, I mean, if you're like a fan, obviously you think Jensen is better than Goldenglue, right?
It is. It's an interesting take, because I think, you know, to Jad's point, a lot of us were coming in today saying that, hey, if you start the guys saying, look, there's a game to give or whatever, and we can always, then there isn't as much pressure. But to your point, yeah, well, no one else is getting the job done. So here we are, nothing to lose kind of a situation. Just go out there, play your heart out, man. Try and make some plays. And if it goes poorly, it's not going any more poorly than it already was for us.
Yeah. And his mom was, you saw, in attendance again to this. This is quite the weekend for Goldenglue. Like,
big weekend for the family.
Yeah, Academy Finals and then his first playoff game. There she is.
Woo!
Crowd support.
I like it. Support from the crowd.
And the upside is massive.
Oh, God. You want to talk about
if Goldenglue comes in based on, like, for years for this guy, like you said, Goldenglue, like, oh, Goldenglue, but if Goldenglue beats Bjergsen and takes C9 to finals,
we've got another rivalry.
It completely changes his perception of as a player.
Well, I think that's huge too, just because like the implications of like his contract next year. If I'm not 100% sure if he's available, but either way, people are going to be making moves and contacting Jack. Like, hey,
already should be.
I want this guy.
Yeah, like that's your new NA talent in the mid lane in some sense that has been largely dominated by Pobelter, with Demonte kind of only barely breaking in this season.
And we talk a lot about Goldenglue, and for good reason, as he's the more untested of the 2 players subbing in. But while he comes in, I think we do have to remember that Svenskeren subbing in for Blabberfish is a guy who has dealt with more pressure situations. And so you are kind of making just the trade of veteranship in terms of the roles.
And I hope to see what we saw against the TL game, where they came in really aggressive, because Svenskeren, remember, was kind of booted off TSM at the start of the year, and they didn't really have that rematch, I'm going to get my revenge, because both of them got knocked out in quarters of all things last split. And so this is kind of a Svenskeren redemption story as well. If he can come in and kind of rob TSM, as it feels like they are the favorites heading into this game.
Speaking directly to that TL strategy, though, is Bjergsen somebody who would succumb to that strategy the
Probably
way that
not.
Belter did necessarily?
Yeah, probably not so much. And the other thing is, I think they showed their playstyle a little bit when they tried it versus TL. So I think TSM should know what to expect from them. They're a very aggressive mid jungle play, something to focus on getting mid ahead. And Bjergsen's a smart player, and he's hard to gank, so I think it'll be tough.
It is a little bit interesting that you have Jensen, who's the Zilean Galio player, and then you bring in Goldenglue Svenskeren for like the lane dominant play. It's just not what you think when you think of the two players. But regardless of all the stuff we talk about with C9, TSM is the team that has C9 on the ropes right now. Like, they're up 2-1 as the underdogs in the series, one game to push them into finals. They are technically in the driver's seat still.
There it is. That's enough of the setup we need as the teams are in the lobby and ready to head into Champion Select. We're going to toss it back out to the battle arena for the call.
Thank you very much, Dash. Welcome to Champion Select for game number 4. This could be the last one of the series, and it could evict Cloud9 from their chance at the finals. TSM pick red side, and C9 are going back to their routine of jungle bans. Olaf, Trundle, and Sejuani were the bans they put in. Both times they were blue side. This time, they changed it around. For the first time, Mithy will not get Shen in this Champion Select. TSM will see if they change anything up, as they will not let the first big Braum come in either.
Tahm, Kench, or another jungler are the options here. Tahm Kench has been banned against Mithy, and that's why he was playing so much Shen, but that one will be left up this time.
It's pretty interesting as well to see Kindred still staying on that ban list for TSM, even with the swap over to Svenskeren, who obviously can play it, but not necessarily his focus, or at least it hasn't been on the LCS stage.
All right, one final ban for TSM, and we'll see what comes through, as they are going to get rid of Gangplank. Champion, they got to play themselves on Hauntzer's side, and wondering if Licorice has any other carries he wants to play for himself.
Licen is available. That is what we saw C9 run against TL in that kind of faded game where they were absolutely able to take over Svenskeren and Goldenglue. We'll see if he wants to go back to an aggressive pick like that, or if it's like some of the guys were talking about on the desk, where we just see him playing on a tank to free up Licorice to play a game.
Varus for Sneaky, the one champion they have won with so far this series. TSM still have that Kai'Sa or Sven if they want it. Kobe, you mentioned Tahm Kench. That's going to be pretty conveniently grabbed up here, both for saving individual targets like Zven or Bjergsen, but also for the map mobility later on.
Yeah, Tahm Kench is so good for denying enemy split push. Using the Abyssal Voyage to pick people off in the side lanes. One thing with the Ornn that we have seen over and over for Cloud9 is Licorice actually pushing in the side lanes and getting collapsed on by Zven or other people from TSM coming to join Hauntzer and kill him off on one of the tanks. Now there's an Abyssal Voyage to make that a bit quicker.
And now it's Ryze for Bjergsen and the hover for C9 to find something more lane dominant. First, Lee Sin was the last thing Svenskeren played on the LCS stage when they completely slaughtered Team Liquid through mid and jungle pressure.
And I'd say it's his best champion historically. When you think of his highest highs, it often has been on this champion. You think back to 2016 Worlds, him absolutely crushing on the pick. Would be a bit surprising to see them swapping in Goldenglue just to run the Zilean again.
Yeah, I mean, Zeyzal can definitely run the Zilean as well, so that could be a support Zilean, but it would be an interesting twist if they had that one as mid lane.
We'll wait to see. I do expect Cloud9 to flex this for a while, but I wonder what this means for the rest of TSM's pick and ban phase, as they might just rush for the Malzahar. We'll wait to see what actually comes through. 5 seconds to go. More hovers. Still doubt it. And the Malzahar will be locked in, so no surprise.
They almost baited me.
You would get a lot of fans if you locked in Zed here.
Went from the most hype to the least hype. But still, Malzahar, fantastic pick into Ryze. I think it is one of the best because Ryze is one of these mid-range mages where anytime he steps forward in a team fight, you can immediately hit him with the ultimate, lock him down. The silence also very powerful to disrupt those Ryze combos.
But you need to know that Tahm Kench is not around because he's so good at saving those targets picked out. So Mithy, even more pressure on him to have a good game. Jhin now locked into the bottom lane for TSM. Zven's going to play this one, his 3rd champion of the series now.
It'll be really interesting to see where they go for jungle picks as well, because at level 6, Malzahar, I think, provides probably the best mid lane gank assist of any champion. So really incredibly strong. If you have a damaged jungler coming through, like that Lee Sin or something along those lines, you jump forward, you throw down that ultimate, and your jungler can kind of burst down that mid laner.
And with Cloud9 still feeling the need to pick up Zilean, even without Jensen being in and even without playing in the mid lane, it makes me think that they do still want to go with a similar style, an offensive jungler, damage dealer, and rely on the revive later on to let them get back up and continue to operate within the team fight.
Which I think, unfortunately for Licorice, means he's going to be probably on tank duty, right? You have a mage support. If we're saying we're going to have an offensive jungler, yes, you can run 5 DPS, but that has not really been the style for Cloud9 throughout the season. They generally do want that consistent tank, that engage from the top lane, which could allow TSM to kind of grab a pick blind here that would be good into a tank.
Hecarim and Lee Sin bans away from Svenskeren.
The crowd unhappy about those bans.
Yeah, well, it's what you get for picking Malzahar before you grab your jungler. They gave them time to ban things away, so Svenskeren maybe ever so slightly off of comfort. We'll see what else he has in the pool.
Sejuani's still up, Gragas are still up, so there are some very good tank junglers that are still up that he has put a lot of time in. Okay, never mind, they're banning on the Sejuani because they don't want TSM to take it away, but still.
Does have Evelyn as well, as a pick he has shown in Academy, I do believe. There's Graves. There are some offensive picks if he wants to go that route.
Yeah, plenty.
So one thing he did say in our interview with Svenskeren and Goldenglue afterwards was that he has turned more into, he termed it solo queue jungler, solo queue warrior, just going with these offensive junglers, looking for lots of kills since his transition to the Academy. And he's just been looking for, the more risky, high damage plays. So that's why we really think he's going to go with something more damage oriented.
And the Graves would make sense. It's a good matchup early into that Trundle. I also think when you see a Trundle on the other team, you often don't want to play a solo tank into Trundle. It makes it too easy in the team fights to ult that person out, to focus that person down. So there's higher potential for C9 to go for a full damage comp, but if you really feel you need the engage here from the Ornn, back to tank duty.
Ornn horns coming in.
Yeah, could be 4 in a row here for Licorice, just on tank duty because the comp suits it there.
Yep.
And it will be the same champion 4 games in a row. Cloud9 must win this one.
And there is a tremendous amount of teamfight damage this time in C9. It's not just dependent on, on Sneaky and a Camille burst. You have Malzahar, you have double marksman. That is a ton of damage. You don't need to bring damage from the top side.
More damage means more kills, Zeyzal.
That's true.
Get him down quicker.
Maybe a new look now for Hauntzer, though. He played Scion in the matchup both times before, or I should say twice before, but now Gnar coming through. TSM should have a fair bit of lane control around topside now with this pick.
And because they have the Tahm Kench, because they have the Ryze, they have so much mobility here, and they can rely on that split push threat. I think especially in Korea, we have seen very, very successful 1-3-1s with Gnars and Ryze, and especially with the Tahm Kench here, this should be a very, very good setup for TSM to split the map.
Definitely think it is powerful split push, but at the same time, C9 have some very good hard engage. Not only the Ornn, but speed up a Malzahar, flash him in, catch someone with that ultimate. The Varus ultimate is available as well, so they do have their own forms of engage if they are forced to go for that 5v4 situation where Gnar is split.
Here we go. This could be the last game of the series. TSM can close it out right here, the 3-1 scoreline. Otherwise, the subs of Goldenglue and Svenskeren in for Cloud9 if they can make the comeback happen. Keep in mind, for many of these players, it is a fresh look for them. This is only the second playoff series that Licorice has ever played in the LCS. Zeyzal's very first, Goldenglue's first single game in the LCS playoffs. It's Grig's first series as well, but he's so far been pretty outstanding for TSM on a squad of otherwise heavy veterans. Stepping up in the day, all that matters. Cloud9 had a better regular season. TSM having the better day. Looking to make their way to their 11th NALCS final. Cloud9 hoping to answer back and tie us up. Bring us to game 5. We'll see if this can happen. On to Summoner's Rift we go.
Something pretty exciting already to point out. Predator Malzahar. This is about playmaking. This is about pushing out your lane, getting to the side lanes, looking for picks, constantly being that source of engagement. So we'll see if Goldenglue is going to be able to perform there.
In our rematch of the Summer Finals of 2017, it did go to 5 games. Cloud9 and the fans trying to push it there right now.
We'll wait to see what happens. Licorice right behind Zven, looking for a trinket ward. They're not going to see one out of Grig just yet. It's actually, I believe, a sweeper start for Mithy, or did I missee that?
He is going to be starting on that sweeper, and more people have been electing to do this as your sweeper starts active. And, ooh, actually couldn't get it. Licorice not in range, and not quite able to do it. Either way, not going to be that big of a deal. They will start on the top side of the map. We could see Hauntzer try to step forward and harass them a little bit. Sometimes you'll see Gnars looking to kind of harass the Ornn on the way to lane after they leash.
This is C9 actually knowing that Mithy pulls the wave every time.
Oh, they've glitched augment. If you get behind them, this actually can be very bad.
Yeah. Mithy doesn't want to show himself now, but C9 actually not
he can't
looking
go
to face check him.
Indian wave is here. It's pretty dangerous. He's still in there, though.
Yep. Now Tahm Kench can throw it a Q. And that's some decent damage towards Sneaky. We'll see right now, actually, Minions are slightly better on the TSM side now. They can get the push, and they can force C9 back this time around. Grig going buff to buff. No, buff to bottom scuttle. Jensen believes in the boys.
Cloud9 using the depth of their roster, pulling in Goldenglue and Svenskeren. Super high pressure game. Game point here, match point for TSM. They have to turn it around. In the bottom side, we already have Grig going for the invade through Tri-Brush. He's gonna find that the red buff is still here.
Yeah, and Svenskeren is doing a full topside clear, so Grig may actually just get this before we see Svenskeren even get over there, and I think he will. You know, with this full clear, Zven may even go to Raptors first, and Grig gonna get the 3 buff here, assuming he can get back to his own blue.
Zven does have more XP than him, and gonna have Smite at the same time, so he won't be down terribly in the short term, but missing that red buff obviously pretty important, and it's one less camp he gets to take this game.
Yeah, the big thing there about invades, takes a very long time to walk over, so in the short term, you're almost always going to be down, but the big payoff comes after the last camp here is cleared for Svenskeren. He doesn't have anything else to go to. The scuttles have both been taken already. He's going to be forced to move into a lane or something like that. Meanwhile, Grig has literally all of the small camps up for him to reverse clear now from Gromp up to top side.
And you know it's even harder for Graves to force any sort of action, any sort of gank without that red buff.
On the bottom side would be the option though. Zven and Mithy should be communicating with Grig.
Didn't spot him, I don't think. Got just in the bush in time.
Oh, they should definitely know from Zeyzal's positioning here. That is aggressive.
How far back Mithy as well. And he knows he can save Zven, so Zven could play up and play for CS, but you're right, there might not be a gank to be had here.
Well, with the way that Mithy's been looking for the tongue lashes with Tahm Kench and positioning forward, that might be an area they could punish them. Isn't going to be the case here, though. And now it's Grig waiting around on mid lane for a possible setup.
Get away from pillars easily, and his passive is down, so he's not immune to slows.
He's got to run up.
The pillar can come in. If he flashes for it, they can find him with the root. There's the pillar. Can he flash over Grig, or is he dead? Goldenglue going to save the summoners. First blood in the mid lane for Grig.
Yeah, he had to run up to have any chance. I think kind of hesitating there, going back towards mid lane, then trying to run up, and an easy run down there. Doesn't cost him any summoners.
Goldenglue and Svenskeren come into the game. Grig immediately invades. They take away the red buff, then ganks mid. They kill off Goldenglue. Svenskeren here is trying to chase him off, though, and make him pay a price for it.
He took almost that entire camp right there, so that little bit of a steal kind of answered back, at least as far as gold is concerned, and Goldenglue able to walk right back to the top side.
In addition, though, all right, let's see if this top pressure does work out, because Hauntzer's pretty far up.
Level 4 only for the Graves. Licorice not playing too far up now. Finds a slow. Gonna look for the knockup. Not gonna get this one yet. Looking for not quite the stun either. Didn't land all the W. So nothing to be had for that gank.
Yeah, not really anything happening there, but waiting for camps to respawn, so not too much of an opportunity cost. We'll be able to grab that top scuttle, and Goldenglue has his Predator boot, so as he hits 6, you want to see him begin to get proactive and really try to look for some of these early plays.
Well, he's looking inside the enemy jungle here for a bit of deep vision. Again, Malzahar pick is a lot more team-oriented. It's not this solo kill mid lane style, assassins that we've seen from both those players. There's much more creating picks for your team. It's not that good at CSing early on either. And he's just trying to shove the lane, get to that level 6.
With Goldenglue, he's actually running the Ghost Portal as well. You just saw him put it down inside the red buff pit, so he is playing aggressively to get vision, to track Grig, to make sure he's not getting caught out, and we might see that gank come through. Now the level 6 is here. We'll wait for him to get out of his lane.
Plus the added benefit of Ghost Portal, when you leave him on the enemy side of the map, you get a little free AP there for himself. To be a bit stronger in the trades in lane.
The kind of track here on the bottom side is normally you would favor a Varus against a Jhin in lane, but the Zilean really is a very weak early laner, and it's one of these situations where you're kind of trading out the strength of the Varus to get your Zilean to a strong place later.
Here's the first attempt for Cloud9.
Predator
Hauntzer
ready.
6, nowhere close to Gnar. New waves coming across. Goldenglue has some wards to know that he's not getting found out, but this wave is getting pushed so slowly, and he's going to Predator back to his own lane.
Yeah, good communication here from Bjergsen. Even with the control ward spent by Cloud9 and their multiple visits up top for vision control, unable to find success there in the first roam, but bottom side.
He's slowed down, he's going to be rooted as well. This could be enough for the kill. Auto attack W, they're going to spin him out and take him down. A second kill for TSM, but the teleports are coming. Mithy's got a shield, but he does not have an easy way out. A flash is not going to be enough. And the Ornn horn sounds. There's no way out for Zven. The flash for the knockup. Is it enough to chase him down? It is. 2 kills traded in the bottom lane.
And what a beautiful TP there from Licorice. So much faster on the TP than Hauntzer was. Turns it around, gets him 2 kills.
Yeah, so actually all of the Goldenglue moves up to top side that made Hauntzer play so carefully and far back in lane gave Licorice room to teleport out of top side and create a play for Cloud9 in the bottom side of the map. Here's another look at it. TSM, and it's a pretty good play here by Mithy to start this one out. He goes straight for Sneaky once again. Even with the speed up there from Zilean, he landed the tongue lash for the slow, spits him out immediately for the extra auto and the kill.
Yeah, and with that Glacial Augment slowing him down, the TP is canceled there by Hauntzer.
And also in that, Zven flashed up to the river, but then walked back through lane. So he didn't have flash for this afterwards, and Licorice was able to get the second kill for himself.
Yeah, Nosy made a mistake there. Definitely would like to have that one back, but still, TSM's bottom lane doing very well in the 2v2, able to get that kill for themselves.
Yeah, really substantial farm for them, plus 13 right now. Zven gets his first red buff of the game.
And it's really going to come down to me how effective Zilean is in the team fights. And was this lane really worth it? Because Zilean really is not a strong laner, but that ultimate post 6 can be very, very powerful. And you have to kind of wait and find out how effective can he be, because we know Tahm Kench is going to have a high baseline level of effectiveness.
Nice kiting by Hauntzer. A bit of extra damage down for Licorice as the blue gets handed off to Goldenglue, and Svenskeren keeps his farm going. There's still a 400 gold lead for TSM. Farm going their way, in addition to the extra gold from First Blood here. Again, a fight for the bottom side. Zeyzal not rooted. Crucially does not land there for Zven.
Yeah, Grig walked over this ward here on the way to bottom side. So Cloud9 know that he's still here. Question mark being actually does go down for them. And they're going to see him on the way out. That opens up Svenskeren to invade on the top side of the map and collect some more wards.
And you can see TSM already starting to pay that Malzahar tax, something you always have to talk about. QSS early purchased here for Bjergsen, and more emphasis on playmaking again for Goldenglue. Grabs early Lucidity boots, that in combination with the Predator, you're going to have more of an opportunity to get out on that map, make those flash ultimate plays.
This is now Hauntzer being forced to sacrifice more than a full wave of minions as Svenskeren takes away some of the Krugs and spends time top lane. Meanwhile, TSM spend that amount of effort to go down towards the Mountain Drake. Top lane turned at half HP, Mountain Drake going towards TSM. That's probably uncontestable. With how long Svenskeren staying up here, they may well trade objectives.
And I'd say, you know, getting that early turret if you can is certainly worth the trade of the dragon.
Yeah, for sure, with the first turret, bonus gold still on the map as well as an option for Cloud9, but it's difficult to wear through the entire turret in that small duration. Dragon's already been taken, and we see the recall here for Svenskeren, so they won't fully take it.
Could signify maybe misplays out of Cloud9. They get damage down, but they must revisit this lane. I don't expect Ornn to knock this down by himself against Gnar.
No, definitely shouldn't be able to, but there has been a lot of pressure on the top side here for Hauntzer. You know, Goldenglue roaming up, Svenskeren walking in, and there is always the potential of Goldenglue simply roaming up to try to get that turret, even if you don't think that you can get the kill. If Hauntzer is aware that you're missing, just that added body certainly can be enough to threaten that.
Watch those threats soon enough. Right now, there's no camps topside for Svenskeren to kill, so you expect him towards the bottom lane. In fact, he's in the tri-brush, waiting around to see if there's a play to be had. Goldenglue, waiting for his first ultimate. Still has that Predator available. Rush for the cooldown boots to get a shorter flash on top of that. The TP to join fights as needed, but so far has been stuck in the mid lane. And this could be a fight now in the mid lane. Not going to be rooted in place just yet, but now a re-engage towards the bottom side. Sneaky being shot up. Zeyzal trying to run for dear life. The slows into Sneaky. And where can Cloud9 go as Hauntzer TP's in? They will find the kill as Svenskeren kills his old teammate. But Sneaky is going to fall. Being resurrected, but still the re-engage. A huge ult out of Hauntzer. Looking for more as he looks to take down Goldenglue. Zeyzal gets the trade though, but it's still 2-4 to the bottom side. Both kills going to Mithy, not ideal.
And Licorice did not join either of those fights. He's topside finishing off that turret. So in the end, Cloud9 will get the first turret bonus gold as they continue to push on bottom 2.
Yeah, Svenskeren winning that fight against Bjergsen, and Goldenglue getting down to the bottom lane first. We're so big, but they're TPing now behind.
Going for round number 2. Down here's Grig's coming back as well. 4v2. Sven's out of mana. He cannot root a target, but Bjergsen can root someone himself. Gets some damage across a great pillar, and Svenskeren's gonna fall for this one. Another shut down to Mithy.
That nicely done there from Bjergsen. He does go down, but he still had the TP remaining.
And again, because he used the TP on bottom side for sure, Licorice can finish off that turret on the top side. And with all that action going down, even with the extra kills coming through, because of the turret take, Cloud9 do have more gold for the time being. Here's a look at how Bjergsen just walked into Svenskeren up against the wall. Even though he flashed away, Svenskeren gets to get the kill on his old teammate. That feels good.
Who's the ward now, buddy? And down on the bottom side here, Cloud9 trying to get out. With Hauntzer behind him, Goldenglue almost able to buy enough time for the Mega Gnar to expire, but it's a good ult from Hauntzer.
Yeah, and the ultimate covers so much distance. Zeyzal, he flashed from the right side of the ultimate from Gnar into the left side of it, and you still get thrown into the wall and stunned up.
Licorice gonna find a friend up on this side, and Svenskeren's right behind him. The sun's gonna land. A good hop though. Hauntzer could be safe, but here comes Call of the Forge God. They'll find the knockup, but Grig is right behind, so nothing to be had here. Even the Tahm Kench ult. Mithy brings Zven with him, so 4 top lane for TSM as they walk back down the river and go for Herald.
Sneaky is pushing on the bottom side. You're probably going to be able to knock it down.
Yeah, those Abyssal Voyages, while it's a really good tool for split pushing and getting those objectives down the side of the map, if you use it like this in full vision and aren't able to make the play on the members up there, Cloud9 know that they have free reign on the bottom side. Varus is going to be able to answer that turret. Rift Herald's picked up here for TSM. Let's see where they use it.
And Sneaky can just keep pushing. I think with a cannon wave here, you should just continue the push, try to have the members on the top side of the map actually defend this. TSM is going to send Hauntzer down to collect this wave, but C9 doing pretty well in the trade. We'll have to see what they can get out of the Rift Herald, though, on the side of TSM.
I think it's every game now Cloud9 have gotten first turret gold themselves. TSM, for most of these, I feel like have had Drake control. Either way, this is a close game. Only 1,000 separating the two as we crest into 14 minutes here. Sadly for TSM, 4/5 of their kill gold, including one of the shutdowns, is onto Mithy. Tahm Kench hasn't really QSS. That's nice. He can be immune to Malzahar, but imagine that 1,000 gold being on Zven's Jhin or something. I feel like it'd be so different here. So TSM, maybe the wrong bot laner for the quadra kill.
That's definitely the case, but you'll still take those kills either way. And as you said, playmaking available with that QSS. He can play more aggressive and kind of try to draw some of those resources out of C9. We do see a level 2 ultimate now is done from Goldenglue, though, and he still wants to be proactive with these roams.
And Freak, speaking of Zven, the carry from the bottom side, he does have the Storm Razor completed, plus he's used the Hail of Blades rune for himself, which adds a lot of damage to these consecutive shots that will come out of him. So he's at a pretty decent power spike, keeping up right now with a decent amount of burst damage. And it's time for TSM to split up into the strengths of their composition. The 1-3-1, Gnar, Ryze, split pushing, Tahm Kench in the middle to allow that Abyssal Voyage threat and keep Zven safe with the threat of Malzahar Predator gank swimming around. Mithy has to play the defense here for pretty much everyone.
He does, but who's going to defend the turret, though? He can't save that one as easily. Good wave clear. And Zven will keep that one alive, but mid lane outer is getting lower and lower. C9 close to a 3-0 turret line.
Yeah, and I think they're going to commit for that since no one is actually answering Bjergsen on the top side. And while TSM certainly should have the 1-3-1 advantage, if it turns into a team fight, unlike the last game, I think C9 have the advantage here, but they're going to have to press fast because this is a Rift Herald dropped on top side. Tier 1's going to go down, and potentially Bjergsen could follow that and try to get a tier 2.
He's going to stick around. He'll get local for this turret going down. TSM on the board with this one. He's staying, as Grig is as well. Goldenglue rotating, but he can be cut off.
Yeah, the Rift Herald is a trump card for any sort of base race or split push option. You have to answer a Rift Herald push, or it will take down all of your turrets in the lane. So Cloud9 have to call it off. They stop at the one turret, and they're going to go answer this Rift Herald.
That one's going to drop down. Gold goes to Goldenglue. But it was a trade of turrets, top outer for mid lane outer. But that was with Herald being consumed. So that pickup maybe not meaning all that much on TSM's side.
Yeah, you can again see the real big priority here for Licorice to get CDR. So again, going for one of these Glacial Shroud items into a quick 20% CDR. Likely going to get a Kindle Gem and turn that Catalyst into an Abyssal to hit 40 again. And then your ultimate cooldown really is so low because it's less about the 1v1 fights here. It's more just, hey, wave clear, be ready for that ultimate when the opportunity arises because you're not really looking for the 1v1 against Gnar.
Cloud9, one of the good things about Graves, he's very good at soloing Drakes, but actually he's going to back right out, not go for this one. TSM going to find Goldenglue. The root's not going to land just yet. Now the ult's going in, the stun's a lot of damage. Mithy could be falling for this one, and they will kill him off a shutdown. And look at the knockups. A double flash out of TSM getting away from that call as Licorice TP'd in.
Oh, that's a key component of the split push here. So Cloud9 can just group up now down mid. They're running it through with these extra minions. They want to force TSM to abandon plan.
I mean, you saw where Ryze and Jhin had to go. It was away from mid lane, so an easy 3v0, 4v0, this turret will fall.
Yeah, with the Voidlings, they take up a lot of turret shots as well, but C9 is just going to return back to base, try to defend against Bjergsen, and take the Dragon here. You can see Goldenglue will be heading over to that top side.
Now this will be the Drake picked up. A mountain apiece now in this game as we watch that fight once again in the river.
Goldenglue holds his flash there until the W from Zven comes out. They turn it around. He also doesn't use his ultimate early because he has already seen the QSS on Mithy and doesn't want to waste the cooldown. So Cloud9 are able to get that kill fairly efficiently and allow them to return to take the turret afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very expensive fight for TSM. Not only do they lose a kill, that's 3 flashes. That was Bjergsen, Zven, and Mithy all flashed there. So now the potential of actually a flash ultimate onto Zven, who has no QSS and no flash if he's ever separated from Mithy, is pretty risky.
That's a kill. If Mithy's not there, that's a kill.
Goldenglue's patience on stage. People were worried if he would be nervous in this game with the amount of pressure. Match point coming in on stage, taking over for Jensen. But he holds strong here, and Cloud9 hold on to their gold lead.
So far, holding his own, looking pretty impressive, I think, with all of the stakes in this game.
Yeah, it's actually insane right here. This is the kind of game that you sort of dream you come in for. Like they call you out from the stands, you rip off your shirt, there's a C9 jersey underneath, and you take down Bjergsen in your very first one. But this is the case right now for Goldenglue, who had bounced around and having a solid game. Svenskeren, of course, as well. TSM decided they no longer wanted him. They wanted different Danes in their lineup. Zven was grabbed. And even Svenskeren himself was benched off of Cloud9 only to come back in when they need him most. And he's having probably the best game on the team right now, 2-1-1 on the Graves.
Yeah, I mean, Svenskeren alone, we talked so much about Goldenglue because of the pressure for him, being this player who has not played in the playoffs, but Svenskeren was kicked off TSM. There's no player who does not want to dominate their old team, to show them that they were wrong, to show them that you made the wrong choice and that you are that better player. And he's having a good game here.
Yeah. Well, tied up Drakes. And the Baron spawns in 20 seconds. They've got almost a Rage Blade, but the Ruin King done already for Sneaky, so their ability to rush that down is great. Malzahar, of course, also good at this. We'll wait to see as blue buff's going over to him. And we watch around the various sides of the map. Hauntzer's pushing in the bottom lane, slowly chipping down that turret. And Licorice, with no wards to his name, doesn't know if he can fight for this. Little does he know he could have, but the threat of a gank was great enough that he's just giving away farm here in Hauntzer. Not long until he knocks down this turret.
Definitely working away at it. But we'll see how well TSM can transition into this mid-game as we crest the 20-minute mark here. Typically, TSM hasn't been that great at the split push strategy. Their go-to has always been the later game team fights. This time around, though, they need to apply the pressure and keep it up, even with the stray death being kept up. They have to commit here. And right now, Bjergsen has his teleport. Hauntzer has his teleport. They're in the side lanes. Jungle's being invaded, though.
Ooh, a great pillar keeps Zeyzal out of range. He's going to go for the double bomb. Doesn't quite land the second, and Mithy's able to walk away, even though he had cleanse. And he's just going to be fine on this one. But Cloud9 starting to take control of the jungle. Mid lane 2-2 already gone. So this wave can be pushed very far as they cut the wave. Now a bit of a knock up there as Licorice battles Hauntzer in this bottom lane. And trading back and forth. Black Cleaver already done. 3 Quicksilver Sash is already in. Now Svenskeren round 2 against Bjergsen. Gonna look for the battle. Huge damage coming out. And watch out, Graves. You could be knocked down. Shield comes in. There's not gonna be the re-engage. Almost the snipe for Sneaky. So close at knocking out Bjergsen. With a low health Ryze, this might give map to Cloud9.
Yeah, you had to think that would have been the kill. We'll see if Cloud9 want to move over to Baron. They at least are trying to get vision control in the area, fighting very heavily for this. And you touched on it. Blade of the Rune King, double marksman, Voidlings to tank it up. They are starting this, but Grig has been a monster at the
He's
objective.
pushed so far away with that blast cone. That was all kinds of convenient. However, C9 disengage off it.
One hell of a wrench there, thrown by Zeyzal. Knocks him over into the Krug wall. Regardless, though, Cloud9 have to pull off. They didn't have a lot of health to pull off that Baron. Sneak with, and they're just going to retreat after the refresh.
Definitely some good cognition there for Zeyzal, thinking of how that was going to go. And now, once again, the wave just being cleared. Sneaky, I assume, is dangerously close to Rageblade here, soloing that wave, not reclaiming the rest of his team. That's got to be coming in soon. That is an important power spike. That second item, huge for Varus.
Yeah, he has enough gold on this next recall that he will be able to buy that up. So going to be feeling very, very strong. And the front line has got to be scared for TSM. You know, as the Trundle, yes, you do get somewhat tanky. But if you get Malzahar ulted and double marksmen are hitting you, you will get shredded.
Especially with Mountain Drakes apiece here for each team. Those threats on Baron that they just did, these little feints, they actually have quite a lot of threat to them. So you can see TSM not hesitating to open up with the Jhin ultimate and use everything at their disposal to try and check the Baron. And while you see similar here, the fight over these wards throughout the red quadrant of TSM's jungle.
Oh, they found the ult. And it's a quick save. Mithy's able to walk away, no problem. More autos coming in. But yeah, Mithy was there, keeping Zven safe. No summoners lost, but now an ulti missing for Sneaky. Bot lane finally success as Hauntzer knocks down the outer turret there. 2-4 in turrets in the gold, 1,400 apart.
And TSM, they're sticking to the plan. Ryze on top side. Gnar finally gets the turret down bottom. Cloud9 might get a little antsy as the pressure continues to mount.
Goldenglue cleans up the wave that Ryze pushed in. C9 continue to sit in this river. They are the ones in control of the vision, but they have not gotten much picked up to their side.
It does get a little bit tough for Licorice in this 1v1 as more items are going to be completed here from Hauntzer, but you're going to see him go towards the Warmogs, and he wants that Warmogs completion so that he can take a bad trade, commit his health pool to clear out the wave, and then back off and heal that back up before the next wave. And that's kind of going to be the strategy, is less about trading with Hauntzer and more just clearing.
An Ardent Sensor done for Zeyzal as well. With Summon Airy, giving haste over to Sneaky will give him the buff, because Airy will shield when you target him, so that is going to have some benefits there, but it's his only way to apply that item. Hauntzer now getting time to solo this Ocean Drake, but maybe afraid of getting clap stun. We'll back off for now.
Yeah, Svenskeren heading down the jungle here. Commands respect from his old teammate. Pushes him off, walks over the Scuttle Crab, so they will be aware, but going to start it up himself instead.
It's not going to take too many resources right now. This is going to be a pretty quick pickup there. Level 14 now in the Graves. Extra levels given to him by Zeyzal. He's got a 2-level lead over Grig for any impending smite fight.
Yeah, and it's going to be really a very big source of damage here. On this Graves, he has the Black Cleaver. He can have that shred for Sneaky as well. When these guys get some room in a team fight to work with, it will be so big. Now, that being said, I think TSM just never really wants to give them the team fight. The way that Hauntzer is building the width they're playing out this game, it is so much depending on the fact that they avoid those fights. And if you ever make a mistake, C9 can go straight to that Baron.
Looks like C9 is playing right now that they pulled Ornn up to the mid lane. They're giving time for Hauntzer to push, which might mean this is the window they're trying to take.
You have to constantly also do QSS checks in games like this, where the pick is so important. Gnar has one, Ryze has one, Tahm Kench has one, plus whoever is close to Tahm Kench also basically has one. So you have to be very, very careful, or at least plan for layering your CC after the QSSs are used.
It's going to be C9 flinching. They recalled Licorice. There's actually a ward, as Zeyzal points out, inside the pit that TSM snuck in, so they know they're not afraid of anything here. Cloud9 pushing the top lane. Hauntzer pushing in the bottom, though, still getting those chips of turret damage. No one stopping.
And it's not even like it's a hidden ward, so there's no worry at all in the world for TSM. That pink ward's just sitting in the pit. C9 do need to clear that out. Even if they don't want to go for the Baron yet, you want TSM to be sweating that you could be going for it. Making them try to step forward and actually check into you can give you an opportunity for a pick.
Hauntzer just growing his lead. His 2 completed offensive items, of course, been there for a while, but Black Cleaver and Ruin King, pretty solid for this. The Warmogs you mentioned earlier is done for Licorice, so yes, he can trade his health pool for pushing.
And we'll have to see if Hauntzer wants to go into something like a Rage Blade and pure split push style, or if he's going to go back for something that's a little bit more middle of the road, like a GA that can allow you to at least have that one punch in a team fight and try to go for a big combo.
Cloud9 had not been back to Baron Pit for a while. Now they'll see the control where their Hauntzer going offensive, though.
Wow, jumps in. Look at that damage up with Licorice below 1,000. This could be the dive. Was he flashed for the auto attack? Just the boomerang. And Hauntzer taking so much damage, though, actually. It'll be Licorice coming in ahead of that trade.
Now it's time for that Warmogs to kick in. Licorice calls for the reset. Never have I heard cheers for Warmog regeneration before.
That's the Cloud9 fans. We've got biased audiences here. Woo! And a move actually gets the ult out of Bjergsen. That's going to be on cooldown for a little while. Little tiny advantages being clawed in by C9 here. Hoping they can find some opening as they knock down the vision again.
And they did clear out that pink ward in the pit, I do believe, so Svenskeren has to be careful, but you know, TSM now doesn't know exactly where the members are. You can see Licorice is rotating over to the rest of the team. Predator was popped there. They're looking.
Ornn's coming up again as well. He's now spotted in the mid lane. Will they find this opening as Hauntzer's slowed? No route yet for Zven on the Jhin. C9 keeps fighting for wards and keeps fighting for the mid lane. Grouped up might be the kind of fight they want. A knock up on a Hauntzer. Is this the target? Down to 1,000. And the ult's coming across. QS has already burned. And they've found Trundle. And Hauntzer's already dead. It's 1-0. The ult's coming across. Grig getting low, and Bjergsen gets found out. But Svenskeren's going to board to be revived. And a giant knock from the back line. The bomb's not fighting stuns just yet. TSM still on the run. Can they snipe Mithy? And they will. 2-0 Cloud9. Jhin opens back up. Bjergsen wants to chase.
Ultimate's going to time out, but the Baron is available, and Cloud9 did not lose a member, so they can retreat over there to try and bait TSM once again.
And not a single flash left for TSM. Very hard to get into pit here. 4 are up for C9.
Grig is good with the smite finger, but how can he even get into the pit?
It's all fog of war, and there's no blast cone. He must walk all the way around the corner, and he's simply going to fight his own red buff. Zeyzal will zone him out. He'll walk by the only route he could take. An uncontested Baron goes over to Cloud9.
And what a story this is shaping up to be. Cloud9 at match point. Goldenglue and Svenskeren subbing him, but it is Licorice who really started this fight off well.
Yeah, and then Sneaky there, he forces the QSS, lands his ultimate. Licorice bowls them over with the Ornn ult, and then he wraps around through the jungle, hits them all with the knock-up on the escape, forcing another flash, which allows Svenskeren to move in, finish off the last kill here, and that means Cloud9 earn Baron. They earn the right to push on TSM's base for a 5th and final game of the series.
And if TSM have to 1-3-1 to be able to stay in this game, what better than the Baron buff to force you to group up, to force you to fight at your base?
And they're finding round 2 on the Grig. Flashless Trundle. He'll be stunned, but a re-engage to the side could be worrisome. A quick save there. Mithy gonna make sure Zven stays alive. Grig able to mostly walk out. And no ult committed by Goldenglue.
And we're seeing why this Ornn has been the constant pick from Cloud9. Licorice over and over, getting these engages, finding picks for the team, playing on the front line, and now they're knocking at TSM's door.
I think Goldenglue might have thought that Mithy was behind Grig there, because Grig has no QSS, was very low, and the ultimate was available for Malz. I think that could have been a kill, but unsure where the TSM members were.
Well, they might find a second round here as Grig makes sure the bottom side is safe, but can't easily defend this turret. C9 starting to knock down the turrets here. They picked up Baron. That's turret number 1. They've got a lot more to go. We've yet to see major comebacks in this series, but they are still a possibility, of course. Cloud9's gold lead certainly not insurmountable yet.
We knew this series was going to be no easy task, and Cloud9 looking to push one more right here Baron buff, 1 minute and 30 seconds left. That is 3 more minion waves to spawn. TSM trying to defend at their openings here. Licorice looks to be the point man. They're moving in on the turret now.
This could be a lot of damage. Look how fast it gets evaporated. As too much of TSM on the other side of the map. Zven dropped low, grabbed by Mithy. He can get out of this one, but it will be the inhibitor going down with no Jhin left to fight. Minions still on the top side means they can keep sieging in the top lane as well. And this will be the second turret falling inside the base. Now that Zven has health, does TSM fight? That answer is no. They're going to give up their second inhibitor, and Cloud9 will take the easy reset if they want it, with a minute still left on Baron.
Yeah, and so much gold here on the team to actually buy. A good 6,000–7,000 gold for them to actually spend up on that recall. They even have that wave prepped on bot side, but Bjergsen is rushing down there to kill that off before they can actually, join up with it. Well, Licorice actually going to TP to the wave to try to keep it alive here. Double TP, wow.
Good clearing, though. Bjergsen managed to get rid of most of that, so they will have to wait for the next wave. That was, I think, a nice attempt, but Tier 2 will not fall for a while, and in fact, it will likely not die during the Baron buff.
Pretty expensive attempt, to be honest with you, to try to keep that minion wave alive. 2 TPs committed.
Well, Cloud9 are going to be able to push down at least this outer turret with the Baron buff. 13 seconds left on this one. Super minions flooding into the TSM base through top side and mid lane now. Even without the Baron buff, there will be extra pressure on TSM to create some sort of play here for themselves. Their backs against the wall.
Licorice actually moving in towards the mid side, either for a flanking ultimate or simply to push in towards the base and split TSM up further. Gonna have the option of retreating for the Mountain Drake, but they would rather keep the siege going with the inhibitors being dead. They don't want to give time for TSM to farm.
They can get those. Yeah, if they can get these minions inside the base, it will draw TSM to the Nexus turrets, allowing Goldenglue to push up the bottom side. You can see on your mini-map, Goldenglue still hovering in between the rest of the team and those minions on the bottom side, so he's going to try and usher them up now.
Pushing in through mid quite a lot. Good damage on Hauntzer. Sneaky frontlining, very aggressive, but no one's soloing him out. Bjergsen on the left-hand side, the Root on the front. They might knock down a kill. No, it's a quick revive, but the first kill comes through. Grig is already dead. 5v4 inside the base. Hope to make it to game 5. The flash, Hauntzer only grabs one, but the flash forward, and Bjergsen gets a kill. The trade back, though, a huge knockup. Can they secure them? And Cloud9 will. A double kill for Sneaky. They're all falling now. TSM are routed. They're inside their base. The Nexus will fall. Bring out the Silver Screams. We're going to game 5.
Goldenglue's first North American LCS playoff game is a victory. And you gotta think they're gonna keep him and Svenskeren in for game number 5, coming in hot off that win.
What a game and what a story.
What a series.
The subs coming in. I mean, this is insane.
Who wrote this script, Zeyzal? I never saw this copy before.
Give that man a raise.
Insane.
It's really, really crazy series. Svenskeren, 3-1-4, even going for the Stormrazor, aggressive Graves build here. He was popping off. I mean, Goldenglue, he was not the story this game, as far as why C9 won, but he had a very good game. Both these guys coming in, and the confidence, the poise to be able to perform at this level with that much pressure is insane.
Honestly, it's not like the super shiny, exciting story, but the Ornn over and over again. Licorice.
I never
this time it worked. These picks.
We never doubted them.
He's coming home. Svenskeren, at least he got his solo kill on Bjergsen in the river.
Yeah.
That's got to feel good.
Yeah.
But remember, TSM, 5 straight BO5 victories in a row over Cloud9. You know they have the grit to bring it when it all matters. So TSM backs against the wall. Cloud9 the same. Match point on the line. C9 were able to bring it to game 5, and to hear just how they did that, let's send it back to Solo and the analysts.
Hey, I'm an analyst now. I like it. Solo, you're the host.
Yeah.
You want to take the cup?
Yeah, game 5.
Let me read this off real quick.
Game 5. Couldn't have asked for anything more in a C9 versus TSM semifinal matchup. Again, Goldenglue and Svenskeren come in needing to put back-to-back wins on the board in order to come away with it. They've got one in the books.
Yeah.
I mean, that's huge.
I love this series. The caster is encapsulated. It's insane, right? Goldenglue and Zven coming in. I thought Zven had a great game. Thought Goldenglue was all right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he did what he needed to do. That's what was weird when we were talking about it. Like, he had the lowest kill participation, I think, for the entire game for his team. And it's kind of like, I think some of the other adaptations they made in the draft is what really helped them out here, but that's probably because of the personnel change and how they're able to play. But either way, it was a very hectic game, I think is the word for it.
Hectic is one way to put it. This whole series has been in actuality, right?
Yeah.
I mean, both
very
teams,
back and forth.
Yeah, really testing each other when it comes to the skirmish.
You're benching me!
The revenge kill for Sven there.
Yeah.
This whole sequence in the bottom lane was really indicative of the game. So many teleports used bottom. There was this sequence that played out. Hauntzer ended up dying. Goldenglue didn't get the kill, but did do most of the damage. It's amazing that C9 didn't come away with this worse, because this wasn't actually the whole play. After everything reset, Bjerg then teleported to the bot lane himself, all the while kind of letting C9 get a bunch of map pressure. And then once they had the map pressure, this was a mistake that Hauntzer had while trying to get priority.
This was beautiful, though.
I mean, Licorice, we've been talking a lot about the Ornn, but I think the one thing we can say is he plays it very well. And this 3-man knockup that he's going to get in this fight was really critical, especially making sure that it also landed onto Sven there, interrupting him from being able to do anything. And then the chase down was really clean. This is what got them their Baron buff and kind of decided the game.
Yeah, really good team fighting there. I mean, this is what I was saying before. If you put C9 with like a more standard draft, you know, they got Varus instead of Quinn here, so you're going to have a lot easier time winning these team fights. TSM kind of playing more of a split push, so, you know, it's one of the win conditions, making sure you have a better team fight.
Yeah, and so you said to me during this game, this feels like a very draft-focused series, and I kind of agree with you. I'm not going to take your point. Like, what didn't you like about TSM here?
So, obviously, this game has come down to a lot of draft you know, preferences. I think TSM's problem this game is they kind of went back to the old ways that they did things when they weren't doing well, which is you pick, you know, Trundle plus Kench, very low playmaking, very low kind of like aggro support and jungle, and then you have two split pushers, which TSM, you know, isn't necessarily super great at. So then you slow down the game, you're just basically split pushing, not really being proactive. And on the other side, you have these huge engage options and a lot of catch, and it's kind of easy for them to start fights.
Yeah, I mean, think about how TSM lost that game. Hauntzer grouped up in a situation, the other guy has an engage tool with Ornn, and they just kind of turn onto him and kill him. Like,
right.
These are team fighs.
They essentially drafted a composition that does not play into the win conditions of this entire series for both teams, right? Game to game to game, it has tended that the team with the strictly better team fighting composition has been the one to come away with the victory in that game. You're drafting away from that win condition, understanding that that's the way the whole series has been going.
Exactly. Every team that has had a better team fighting composition has won the game. So going back to 1-3-1, I think was a big mistake for TSM. I want to see them just completely brawl with the best team fighting picks.
Get back on the Scion for sure, or get back on like another hyper tank. I think it'll be easier for them.
I think making sure you get there the right way is important too, because I think in game 3, when they ended up with that like really meatball-y team comp for C9, that was still in a lot of regards a team fight team comp. No one there really wants to split push, but they did it with this like really early snowball game plan into a team that had a bunch of mid-game picks. So like, I think you still have to be intelligent about it. You can't just go like, this is the best team fighting champion. First pick those. Like, you have to still, you know, understand what you're playing it into.
Right, and I think there's going to be a lot of questions again as we wait to hear whether or not any substitutions are coming in for Cloud9. But I think the struggle for TSM is in part the fact that they have to prep against 2 different rosters essentially, and while, you know, not necessarily seeing anything wildly different out of the 2 comps in terms of playstyle, the champions are different, and therefore this idea that you have to be ready to react to twice as many picks that's a pretty daunting task.
Yeah, I mean, the Malzahar was something that none of us were expecting. Goldenglue's been playing in Academy like a ton of assassins in hard smashing games, and he basically comes in and plays one of the biggest role-playing champions in the mid lane behind like Aurelion Sol maybe, you know, like you're an alt bot and you make everyone buy QSS, and that was his contribution a lot in the early game.
All right, here's the info. C9, blue side.
Okay.
No substitution.
Okay, yeah.
So what are we thinking here? We got a lot of confidence in Goldenglue and Svenskeren as they came in. We got a blue side draft here for Cloud9. We saw them put a lot of priority on that Varus this time around, getting that early. Again, kind of speaking to the more team-fighting potential of the Varus. We expect them to go the same way or jump back to that Quinn that has found little success.
I think they'll do a similar draft, but outside of that, I think this has to be a huge confidence boost for C9 as a whole, but also Svenskeren and Goldenglue. I mean, you come out of the gate and you just kind of smash TSM. So I think it's going to be kind of you know, shaky for TSM's mental, maybe.
Yeah, revenge game for Svenskeren, a confidence boost for Goldenglue, and ultimately, we are down to match point for both teams. Cloud9 versus TSM is decided in just one more game. Before we go to break, we're going to hand it off to Avali for an interview with Golden Mom.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Cloud9 Goldenglue's biggest fan, Golden Mom. What has it been like for you to watch your son get subbed in at the most important match?
Very stressful. But, you know, I deleted Reddit years ago, so that helps. And, you know, it's him and Svenskeren together. It's their synergy. So it's not one without the other. So it's both of them.
Do you have any words of encouragement for him as he goes into this last and final game?
Deep breath. He meditates, so he knows how to find his little calm spot. And thank you to Reaper and Jack, who gave him faith, or put faith in him after years of struggling. And they definitely turned him around. They know what they're doing. I know it was a rough start. They know what they're doing.
This must be a pretty proud moment for you, but I have to ask, do you know what Silver Scrapes is?
Silver Scrapes, no.
Well, you're about to find out because we're going to toss to a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to get to Game 5. Stick around. It's our big song.
Are you ready for it, Chris?
I'm ready for it, bro. I'm ready for it.
The first playoffs, let's make it count, bro. Make it count.
Do it, dude. Let's do it.
Okay, let's finish him. He has no flash.
Ryze is not there. Ryze is not there.
No push, no push. Yeah, no push, no push. I sped you up, I sped you up.
Good job, guys. Good job.
Now the ult's going in, the stun's a lot of damage. Mithy could be falling for this one, and they will kill him off a shutdown, but Svenskeren's gonna board to be revived. And the Giant knocked from the back line. The bomb's not fighting stuns just yet. TSM still on the run. Can they snipe Mithy? And they will!
End the game, boys. I'm in the back. Just end the game.
Let's go. We're going to game 5, baby. Boom!